Your host Lewis
and Jaden, and this is
Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Welcome back, fans. We're gonna be in for an excellent topic today that I know myself and my son are definitely looking forward to. Best and worst gimmicks of all time in wrestling. Now, gimmicks is also, you can say, characters. When these gimmicks and characters come in professional wrestling, some make it, some don't. And if they make it, it all depends if the fans take a liking to these gimmicks. Now, there's one gimmick in specific that I know that many fans like and still like to this day, that I would like to first mention. By far, to me, one of the best gimmicks of all: The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Undertaker is the dead man. The dead man has been in the WWE since 1991. With The Undertaker, the Ministry of Darkness, then to the American Badass, then back to the Phenom. What do you think about that, Jaden?
Now, you're absolutely right about that, but a gimmick isn't just a person's character. A gimmick can also attract attention to a lot of people in the WWE universe and a lot of WWE superstars.
So how do you think The Undertaker caught the attention of the fans?
I think because he started off as the dead man, and he switched back and forth, and then he finally stood as the dead man. So making all these switches made his gimmick such a good one. Because
now, not to cut you off, but do you think besides the gimmick, because he came in as a heel when he first started, he debuted at the Survivor Series 1991, and as he kept going, his character started rising.
Yeah.
Then came the WrestleMania streak. He defeated the likes of Jimmy Snuka, Jake Roberts, King Kong Bundy, the late King Kong Bundy. And I think that's what probably caught the fans' attention for that, and that's what made that gimmick come out, that character, so unique.
See, now I think that's what caught their attention, but I think what I just said made it such a good gimmick.
Okay, so in your opinion, do you think that would be the best gimmick of all time or one of the best?
I think one of the best.
Okay, what would you think, in your opinion, would be another gimmick?
Another gimmick. Ooh, that's a good one. I would say Stone Cold. Stone Cold's gimmick.
Okay, explain that. Why do you think Stone Cold's gimmick and character
Stone Cold's
was better?
gimmick and okay. I'm not gonna say better because both of those men had very good gimmicks. Like Undertaker was the dead man. Stone Cold was like the ruthless one. Stone Cold did anything he could to get a title, to ruin the McMahon's day, to do anything.
Okay, that's absolutely right. But you forget, at one point, Stone Cold had one of the worst gimmicks. He was called the Ringmaster. That was
back when he was with Ted DiBiase,
exactly.
And he had the $1 million title.
Exactly, and not too many people took a liking to that.
Yeah.
And it was good he got rid of the $1 million man, because then that started to transcend his character as Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But remember, you don't know this. Undertaker was first called Mark Calloway in WCW. He was part of the Skyscrapers, a part of a tag team, which pretty much didn't go anywhere when he was in WCW. So I guess once he came to WWE is when that stardom happened. You understand? One gimmick that I felt by one gentleman was one of the best, but now the worst. Bray Wyatt.
Oh, yeah.
Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, was an awesome gimmick. You had him with the Wyatt family and this demonic and scary type faction that transcended into a new era in wrestling. And then we just saw this past Monday the Firefly House.
I mean, but surprisingly, some people actually like this gimmick. Some of these people like this gimmick.
Okay, believe it or not, some people like the gimmick. That's fine. But come on, what you did all these promos on a vulture or bird, whatever the heck it was, and then you did this crazy mannequin lady, this doll, so scary, and then all of a sudden you come in with a funhouse? Like, I don't understand what type of writing they're doing in the WWE. Like, okay, some people are trying to see where this is going to go. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it couldn't go into an excellent character. But I think by far, the Bray Wyatt character, the Eater of Worlds, was better.
I agree. Now, going back to the worst gimmicks, we can have the Spirit Squad.
Oh yeah.
The Spirit Squad, I'm sorry.
5 cheerleaders that
fans,
were terrible.
I did not like them.
They came in, they fought DX. It was terrible. DX was an excellent gimmick of Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the Spirit Squad, I'm sorry, that was a terrible gimmick. I don't know what WWE was thinking about that. And then it's good they broke them off, which eventually made Dolph Ziggler the man he was today in wrestling. You know, but when you also talk about gimmicks, there's one gimmick that I remember in my time, Jaden. It's Psycho Sid. He was this man that was crazy. He used to say he was the ruler of the world in WCW, WWE, WWF. That he actually attracted attention. You know, with that attitude and that they could literally call him Psycho Sid because he was psycho. But he pretty much had this move called the chokeslam and the powerbomb. That gimmick, I rule the world. Like if you were to see videos of this man, he actually, a lot of people liked this guy back then. You know, he was very powerful. He was part of the Four Horsemen back then. He did many things in the business with that gimmick of Psycho Sid when he was in WWE. And a lot of people took a liking to him.
Now, going back to like more scarier gimmicks, we have Kane was like an old gimmick because the gimmick now, he really doesn't have one, but the gimmick that he used to have, he was basically the demon.
He was pretty much the Big Red Machine.
Yeah, the Big Red Machine.
But remember, he also had a worse gimmick as well. He was called Dr. Isaac Yankem DDS, which we want to say happy birthday to Kane, aka Glenn Jacobs. He is the mayor, I believe, of Tennessee.
Oh,
another birthday, many blessings. Nice. He had Dr. Isaac Yankem. It was disgusting. That gimmick was terrible. He had a rivalry with Bret Hart at a point. And fought The Undertaker at 1.2, but him coming in as Kane was a better character for him because it actually transcended his career when he became Kane.
Especially since he got the nickname the Devil's Favorite Demon.
Of course.
That was what shocked a lot of people.
And that's the thing. With that gimmick, he did crazy things. He put Jim Ross on fire.
That was insane.
He put battery cords on Shane McMahon's private parts, which not to mention that here, but he did a lot of things demonic, and a lot of people liked that character. And that was the time of around the Attitude Era, you know. And that's one thing that many people don't understand, that with that character that came out after he took that mask off, it pretty much showed him what he really was about.
Now, Dad, I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Who do you think has the best gimmick? Like out of all wrestling,
of what I've seen so far, from the past and now, I would honestly have to say Aleister Black.
Yeah,
the way he comes out with that entrance like that,
that's amazing.
That's an eerie entrance. That's a character, a gimmick that he has that you can see it. Like the man is determined to come into the ring. The man is ready to battle. The man is ready to fight, and his athleticism is incredible.
Oh yeah,
the man can do a lot in the ring. But my worst gimmick that I've seen so far, and no disrespect, no way, Jose. I'm sorry, no way. Jose, no, come on, like you're kidding me. And then, like, I'm sorry, that's the worst gimmick you can ever give to a person. First, the man's dancing with a whole crowd. You dye your hair green and braid it up. I'm sorry, it's not a gimmick that would win the attention of the fans. You know, you bring this man up. This is the problem. You're bringing these gimmicks up, and a lot of fans are not getting used to it. You know, and that's the.
Asuka has a really great gimmick. She's the Empress of Tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Asuka has done a lot of great things in her past experience of being inside the ring. So that's what makes her have such a great gimmick. What do you think, Dad?
No, of course Asuka has a great gimmick. The way she comes in with her moving when she comes in, and the mask that she has. You know, that's a little bit of a scary mask. You know, a Japanese mask.
I mean, not even that. She wears different styles.
No, but you talk about Asuka, and she does come in with different styles, and just like that attitude she has in the ring.
Yeah.
But remember, you got Sasha Banks.
Oh yeah.
Sasha Banks with that attitude is I'm the boss. She like nobody can touch her. She pretty much has that, you know, attitude. Like I'm gonna take everybody out. This is who I am. You can't see me. You know what I mean? Which John Cena. Speaking of John Cena was a great gimmick.
He was.
The first gimmick he actually had, I liked.
I enjoyed
Not this
that
one now. The one I had was pretty much the untouchable.
I mean,
the Doctor of Thugonomics.
I enjoy both of them because, like, John Cena's now.
I'm sorry.
But John
the
Cena,
second one I didn't like. The Doctor of Thugonomics was the best one that made his career.
But John Cena now, he's more stronger. But I agree with you though, because the Doctor of Thugonomics, you know, he was more ruthless. He really didn't care about who you were. He was the heel, basically.
Of course, and that's what brought it out of him. But then that's when he became a face. It was much better when you came out and said what when he came out and said what he said, that I'm the untouchable. I'm the Doctor of Thugonomics. You know what I mean? But
you gotta give him credit though. Look at how he is after the Doctor of Thugonomics. Look how many titles he's won.
But why is it that that they keep mentioning about that? You know what I mean? But when you talk about that, there's another gentleman out there that a lot of people like, which I know one in particular likes, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
The man is the big dog. That gimmick. This is my yard. I proclaim this. You know what I mean? He has this. When he first came into the scene with the Shield, he was this quiet gentleman that didn't say a word. He was
the powerhouse.
He was the powerhouse, destructive. But as he went on his own, he said, okay, I'm going to end up making a name for myself, which he did. He ended up going through pretty much almost the entire roster. You know what I mean? But when you talk about a gimmick like that, it's hard to follow that. But another worst gimmick I find, Papa Shango. I'm sorry, that was just terrible. It's the man tried to be a voodoo person on TV.
Yeah.
Didn't really work. The man didn't have too much wrestling talent until he got further into the business and became the Godfather, which brought a lot of people. He brought a lot of women with him. He brought as what they say, the hoes, what they say in wrestling, the Attitude Era back then. But pimping ain't easy, and it actually won the fans over. He actually got himself into the Hall of Fame. And he did what he did, the Godfather. It was good.
But who has more of the worst gimmick, the Boogeyman or Papa Shango? Because I'm not trying to knock the Boogeyman off, but his entrance was scary.
I would have to say the Boogeyman, because the Boogeyman, his entrance was scary. It was pretty cool.
But he didn't have no talent in the ring.
He slapped himself in the head with a clock, but no talent in the ring.
Yeah.
The man couldn't wrestle. The man couldn't do a move for the life of him. Terrible gimmick. It was not one that many people wanted to see, and that's why they just got rid of him. There was another one in WCW which was terrible, called the Disco Inferno. What the heck was WCW thinking of this guy? This guy coming in with disco music, dancing disco fever, and it was terrible. The man won one title. Fans didn't take a like to him because of that dumb, ridiculous gimmick. It was a waste of time. One gimmick that is one of my favorites, Ric Flair.
Oh.
Ric Flair. Woo! All the time. The kid stealing, jet flying, limousine riding, son of a gun. The man did it all in the wrestling industry. His gimmick was, I'm rich, I got watches, I got Armani suits, I got jackets, fur coats. That's the type of character a lot of people like in the industry as a Ric Flair. That's why he's a 2-time Hall of Famer. He was one that I really enjoyed watching as a character in the wrestling industry. There was one person that I liked, God rest his soul, Mr. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Perfect was perfect. He was excellent in the ring. His talent was beyond compare. He made it into the Hall of Fame too. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. When you talk about a worst gimmick, who do you think is your worst gimmick?
My worst gimmick? Well, I got a gimmick that is a bad gimmick. It's a worst gimmick, but it's really funny. Santino Marella.
Oh, of course.
He was funny.
No, Santino was always funny, especially the way he walked in the ring. He'd take out his Cobra and put it in his hand, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good gimmick. It was a bad gimmick.
But it was funny.
It caught the attention of the fans because it was funny.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why a lot of people liked his character, because he was funny as hell.
And he used to try to make the serious face when he walked into the ring. It was so hilarious.
Absolutely. And that's what made it interesting at a point. until fans like, okay, I don't
They're
want it
not
anymore.
liking, yeah, they're not
But
liking it.
you also see Mankind. Mankind was Mick Foley,
He's a good one.
Cactus Jack, Do Love. That man had a gimmick that not too many people were able to do. You know, his gimmick as Cactus Jack and all these people, Mankind and Do Love, kind of caught the attention of everybody. Cactus Jack alone, when Cactus Jack caught the attention in WCW, he came to WWE and caught that same attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it made battles with Triple H in a steel cage, in a Hell in a Cell, no holds barred. And when he was Do Love, he came and helped Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Mankind, he pretty much attacked The Undertaker. You know, but what do you think about the New Day?
The New Day?
Yeah.
They're actually amazing. New Day rocks, especially since the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion Kofi Kingston.
Exactly.
That shocked a lot of people.
But you know what they say? As I say, New
Day
Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Okay. And then, no, they're good, especially Big E. Big E on the mic when he say, "Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your 4-time champs and feel the power." Like, that catches the crowd.
And then when it starts, it's a new day. Yes, it is.
And that was a good character. And I love their gimmick. Like, for them to break up, I really wouldn't want them to break up as a faction. You know what I mean? And when you talk about another character, you have Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho, yeah.
When he first came to WWE, because in WCW he sucked. I'm sorry. He was terrible in WCW. When he came to WWE, he made this Y2J countdown. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I've seen that.
And the debut of when he made a debut on The Rock show, oh man, that caught the crowd's attention like crazy. He interrupted The Rock. He made a name for himself, and the man is a multi-time champion. And the fans really caught a liking to his gimmick, and that's what made it more exciting. Now, when you talk about the worst, excuse me, Lacey.
Who's that?
She is the young lady that comes with this hat on all the time, dresses that swears she all that coming out in the entrance. I'm sorry, you're not showing me anything with a gimmick. You know what I mean? It's a bad gimmick. Great athlete, terrible gimmick.
Now, I have a question for you. By far, what is your favorite gimmick? Your favorite?
My favorite gimmick, by far, well, it would be a mixture of both. I would have to say Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
Why? Because at the time when I was young, in the 80s, Hulk Hogan was, and still is, my favorite wrestler of all time. Hulk Hogan was all about, saying the prayers and eating your vitamins and, the muscles. And let me tell you something, brother. You know what I mean? And then when he went to WCW, that Hollywood Hogan gimmick came out. That attitude, that character of a heel that pretty much transcended the business to what it is today. He brought out this heel. He made it spectacular as to, wow, I'm going to take over the wrestling industry. You know what I mean? But one that stands out, and I'm sorry, God rest his soul, the Giant Gonzalez. The man was 7'7".
Wow.
Close to maybe 400 or 500 pounds. The man had a bodysuit of a body himself, a 6-pack and arms and muscles. Terrible gimmick. I don't understand what they were thinking when they put that gimmick on the Giant Gonzalez with that suit on him. The man was El Gigante in WCW.
Was that a good character?
Of course it was a good character. He was an actual face in WCW. When he came to WWE, they tore him apart. They really tore him apart. One gimmick that I like too, which I don't know what happened with him, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, yeah.
The king of strong style. The man came in with this gimmick like, I'm unique, I have power, I have the athleticism, I can take over. I still like him to this day.
Well, going back to old school. God rest his soul, the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh man,
he was amazing. He used to come down running to the ring all pumped up.
Always.
He used to get every time he would do that. No matter how many times he would do it, he get the fans jumping out of their seat.
That music, listen, that music hit. That music hit. It will get people so pumped.
It will get people excited.
Like, oh my God! Like you would hear ding, 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 and people would look like, yo, it's the Warrior, it's the Warrior. And they would come in and like, wow. He would come out and the crowd would just go electric when they hear that music. The way he ran to the ring, the way he shook the ropes. Like, the way he talked, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
It didn't make too much sense, but...
he got things through.
He got things through. He got it through, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
What are we going to do next with this guy? Like, who's he going to face next? But, you know, a lot of people have some problems with him in the business back then, but you are who you are in this business. You know what I mean? You got to respect the character. You got to respect the man for what he did in the business. He is a Hall of Fame. He beat Hulk Hogan cleanly at WrestleMania 6. That character actually fit. Because the first time, you didn't know this, they originally named him the Dingo Warrior, which was terrible. Terrible gimmick, terrible name. And then they said the Ultimate Warrior,
sounds a lot
which
better.
sound much better. One character that I liked too, his gimmick was Scott Hall, but as Razor Ramon.
Oh,
he was this Cuban guy that came with the toothpick and the nice music and machismo, like, you know, say hello to the bad guy. You know what I mean? And he became a star in WWE. And eventually left to WCW, be part of the NWO as Scott Hall, but he actually made a name of himself as part of the Outsiders.
Yeah.
But Razor Ramon, I think I liked better when he was there. You know?
I mean, I like both. I like Scott Hall and Razor Ramon because they were both good. But going back again to the new school, we have Seth Rollins.
Oh, of course.
I love Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was the King Slayer. Now he's the Beast Slayer since he beat Brock Lesnar. Seth Rollins has done a lot of things to make his gimmick.
Seth freaking Rollins. You know what I mean?
To make his
that's
gimmick
his gimmick. Make it
Yeah.
better. He got this. Pretty much, he has this aggression that I'm the architect.
Basically, when he says something, he means it. He's
No,
gonna
of
do
course.
it.
Listen, this one we can't leave out though.
What?
The most electrifying man in sports entertainment today, The Rock.
The People's Champion.
Of course, the
Woo.
People's Champion. The man was electrifying. You know, to me better than Roman Reigns. So he to me had a better reaction towards the fans, and I would love to see that battle between Roman and The Rock.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm sorry, fans. I'm getting a little dirty look from my producer here because she's a big Roman Reigns fan. The Rock was the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. The man transcended the business in the Attitude Era. When Stone Cold got injured, he pretty much took the ball and ran with it and took that company on his shoulders and made a hell of a run with it.
Yeah.
So I can't complain about that. The man is an excellent athlete, excellent performer. He did it all with that gimmick, The Rock. You know, because before the Dwayne Johnson, that babyface, no,
that was a bad gimmick.
That was a bad gimmick. Very bad gimmick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's a team that stands out to me as a good gimmick and characters as well. The Legion of Doom.
Ooh.
The Legion of Doom were by far one, if not the most destructible tag team in wrestling history when it came to WWE, WCW, ECW, NWA, all that stuff. These men pretty much took over the wrestling industry, you know, and it was what we like. That's the character they brought out, you know. But we also got characters in the indie promotions, Jaden.
Ooh, yeah.
You got, let's say, Chuckles.
Oh.
Chuckles in Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling.
He is crazy.
You know what I mean? He, like, chicken. You know, people were actually rooting chicken, and they liked it. You know what I mean? And Zack the Monster, too, the hardcore champion for Atomic. Another great gimmick that came out there.
What about Jesse Neal?
Jesse Neal.
The Dog of War.
That's what I'm saying. Jesse Neal, he has that respect.
Yeah.
And, you know, that gimmick out of him, that character is coming out as, you're going to respect me, I'm going to make you know me, you know my name. You know, And you also have guys such as Shannon Moore.
Oh yeah.
Shannon Moore, you know, that gothic attitude, that gothic character that comes out of him. The man brings it out of people to see him how he wrestles. That character that he's crazy, like you know, because we've seen him live. When you talk about another gimmick, Cha Cha Charlie.
But what list does he go on?
I would have to say he goes in a good gimmick because he gets that attention from the fans. You know, he does that merengue dancing, you know, and stuff like that, and which it catches it. Another one that we actually just had him on the show yesterday, Eric Jaden.
Oh, from
the Deadly Saiyan Squad. The Deadly Saiyan Squad itself, you know, excuse me, that's an excellent faction that character. They pretty much are the human Saiyans from Dragon Ball Z, but they made it better than what it's actually.
Real life.
Exactly. You know, and you also got the Zombie King and Frankie Flo.
Oh yeah.
Those guys as a tag team, you know, the Flow Zombie King is phenomenal.
What about the two tag teams, Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff?
That's that gimmick of both of them that they come out, they start take no prisoners type attitude when they come in. You see them, they're ready for battle. It's not like, we're just gonna go in there and just fight. You know what I mean? But you also have a bad gimmick, which I think, I'm not sure. When it comes to indie promotions, it's hard to say with bad gimmicks because it's a little out there. Ryzen.
Oh.
He fought Cha Cha Charlie. It's an okay gimmick. I'm not saying it's a bad gimmick, but I think they can do more when it comes to that character.
I think they could put more action with him in the ring.
They could put him more demonic.
Yeah, Well, I'm pretty sure he's demonic as it is because this is already he carries like a pitchfork and
no, of course,
his eyes are
absolutely.
colored.
But I think he with that character can come up more
in the ring. I agree in the ring, but like out of the ring, I think he should stay exactly like how he is.
No, when it comes to any promotion, they have great characters. You know what I mean? So at this moment, Jaden, we're gonna wrap it up. It was an excellent topic. Fans, we thank you for tuning in. As always, feel free to go on Smart Mark Radio on Moses Marquez. He does our SoundCloud and Google for us in audio. At some points, he puts our episodes out there. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Evolution of Pro Wrestling. If you have any concerns, questions, or topics that you would love for us to say or bring up, email us at evolutionofprowrestling@gmail.com. Next week's topic, we're going to be talking about the best eras of all time. And we talk about every single era. WCW, WWE, WWF, indie promotions back in the days. All of it and how it affects the business, how it affected the business, and our input on that. Thank you, fans, for tuning in. For myself, my colleague Jaden, and my producer that's next to me, Yesenia De Leon, my wife. Thank you, fans. Have a good night.